God is characterized in the biblical stories as the source of the ultimate aim. That's a good way of thinking about it. So imagine that there are things in your life that interest you and compel you and pull you forward. They call to you. Now imagine that as you mature, what interests and calls to you and pulls you forward changes, right? But the fact that something interests you and calls to you and motivates your transformation, that doesn't change. God is defined in the Old Testament corpus as the spirit behind all transformational aims, right? So you can imagine that the thing that beckons to you and calls you to develop and mature further varies in its specific manifestations depending on your time and your place and your temperament, but that there's something behind that that shines through all of those things that beckon and call and fill you with enthusiasm. And that's the deity at the pinnacle of Jacob's ladder, which is the never-ending spiral of upward aim. That's a definition. And that people are called upon to exist in relationship to that spirit. That's the covenant between man and God. How is that spirit characterized? In Genesis, God, the source of ultimate aim, or the target of ultimate aim, is characterized as the spirit that broods upon the primeval water. That's the opening part of Genesis. Well, what does that mean? Well, there's no water yet in creation. That comes later. What's the water? The Hebrew is tohu vabohu, and it doesn't exactly mean water. It means something like potential or possibility or chaos. God is the spirit that extracts the habitable order that is good out of a pre-existent potential or chaos. And human beings are made in that image. What does that mean? This is what you do in your life. What do you perceive when you wake up in the morning? Well, you think, well, I perceive my bed, I perceive my carpet, I perceive my curtains. That just shows how materialistic you are in your conceptualizations, because that's not what you perceive. What you perceive is the possibility that's making itself available to you for the day, right? Think about how you wake up. Well, first of all, you're asleep, you're unconscious, there's nothing happening. Then, poof, daylight, you're awake. You're awake. And what are you contending with? Maybe you're terrified. Why? You're terrified by all the potential left over that you haven't realized because you've been offering inappropriate sacrifices at your job. That's what that means. Or maybe you wake up enthusiastic and optimistic, and you can see that there's many things that exist in possibility for you that you could wrestle into the order that's good, right? And so then you can leap out of bed enthusiastically and begin to what? Subdue and order the world, right? And that's the nature of consciousness itself. Like consciousness itself, which is being as far as human beings are concerned, because what is non-conscious being? It's the spirit that grapples with the possibility of the world. Is the possibility real? Well, can you do one thing or another? Can you do one thing or 5 other things? Do you have choice? Well, you treat everybody like they have choice. You treat people like they have responsible choice. You assume that on your own account. It appears to you that you have that ability to go this way or that way. In what? In the realm of potential. Well, that's why human beings are made in the image of God. Well, that's why that's an accurate representation, is we're doing the same thing at the local level that the spirit that gives rise to everything is deemed to have done at the beginning of time and to be continually doing. Right, we have something to do. What? Transform possibility into actuality. In what manner? How about in the manner that aims up? We're transforming chaotic potential with our aim to what? To establish the kingdom of heaven. Or what? Its alternative? Hell? We've done that plenty, especially in the 20th century, by aiming down, by lying, by being prideful, by being usurpers of the moral order. That's a communist ideologue in a nutshell. And what did they produce? With their downward aiming, wrestling with potential. Hell. Is it real? Wait till you get there and you'll find out. And maybe you've had a few side trips already, right? It's as real as pain and suffering. It's as real as pointless pain and suffering, right? It's as real as self-inflicted pointless pain and suffering. Or maybe it's as real as the pointless pain and suffering that you inflict with your carelessness and your deception and your pride, even on the people you love. That's a good definition of hell. Is that real? You can just ask yourself that question. Everybody knows the answer to that question.